What are we looking at here?
This is a representation of the World Ocean Review, Volume 1, Chapter 1, where they talk about, water being the dominant elixir. So this is a representation of their first figure, where they begin to partition the ocean. Here we can get statistics about different parts of the ocean. We can manipulate, we can zoom in. This will ultimately be placed in the exhibit space. Right now, it's existing on its own. As you walk into the exhibit space, this will be what you encounter first, sort of
Oh, great.
introducing the importance of the oceans. We can add additional layers of data. Within the World Ocean Review, they talk about the importance of marine wilderness regions.
Mhm.
And this, we can add additional layers to this. So we built that framework in place here, as well as the user interface design here. Each one of these objects here can be interacted with. We can click on it and look at the underlying bathymetry.
Ah, this is so great.
And then, the user can just lift up the entire ocean.
Like puzzle pieces.
Yeah, and then
So tell me again, I remember when we talked the last time, and Peter had said how much he enjoyed seeing that, like this as the view when the user walks in. But you alluded to the fact that within World Ocean Journal, they laid it out so that it seems as if there are these different bodies of water and you can explore each of them individually, but ultimately they come around to
the
the
one, a big ocean.
visualization as one ocean.
Yeah, so these are things that are easily modified here. We've created this scripting framework here that I can just connect all these pieces together. We can lift them all up together. So
Yeah,
again,
that's
at
awesome.
different areas, we can change the maps over time. And in addition to that first chapter in the report, this one ocean and the different statistics of the ocean, but they also talk about the importance of marine ecosystem services. So, as part of this first exhibit, the students or users will be introduced to the marine ecosystem services. And here we've created the UI framework to then dive into that. The ability to, hover over a button and have it engage with the user.
Yeah,
So
great.
it knows what to do. It kind of adds prominence to certain regions. And then you can click supporting ecosystem services. And then this could be a whole topic area you can dive into. So,
Incredible.
we
Yeah.
took this two-dimensional, pretty basic figure within the chapter and kind of brought it to life. And
Yeah.
so we can add videos to this, we can add animations. So this is just sort of the beginning point of that.
Now, here's a question. Could this also be turned into interactive drag and drop activities
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
students
At
that
the
we
end
have
of
in?
this, similar to what we did in deep sea, the user is learning about, the different geological formations and the geomorphology of sort of a hydrothermic system. And then at the end of that, we had this sort of learning assessment. Yeah, we can do that where the user would have to show that they had taken away a certain amount of knowledge. So yes.
Right. This is the How the Ocean Works module, and this is the work that Bjorn Grigholm, our developer at Visual Solutions Lab, he has put this work together in conjunction with Jan Lemonster at Maribus. They're our collaborative partner in Hamburg, Germany, and they have donated in kind all of the content that essentially all the content that lives in this magazine. Bjorn is putting it to life, creating three-dimensional infrastructure that will become this next module, How the Ocean Works.
So this will ultimately be added to that exhibit space as one of the exhibits. Another exhibit that I've been working on that's going to incorporate a series of different figures and graphics within the pollution of our oceans chapter is creating like a cartoon representation of pollution,
Oh, Bjorn,
which,
this is
according to the report, it's 80% of marine pollution is coming from the land, going into the rivers or coming directly from the land into the ocean. So the idea here would be to create this sort of cartoon environment that then the user can kind of click on each object and get information about, but also have animated representation of,
what the different sources are.
yeah, particle systems to show these areas
Wow.
and, whether it's agricultural zones, water waste management, factories. But so we're again in the beginning phases of this. And this will be accompanied with a series of interactive slideshow educational component as well.
Yeah,
So
the hydrothermal vents, the chemosynthesis.
yeah, and
Yeah.
ultimately with some sort of drag and drop learning assessment.
Yeah. Do you remember what Crystal Ambrose from Plastic Pollution Project was saying that point source pollution in the small island developing states looks nothing like this. In fact, it's the opposite of this.
Yeah.
So that would be really interesting to be able to show that, how
Yeah,
that,
and there is this specific in the first graphic I've been transforming into this 3D model here, focused just on the non-point sources, but there
yeah.
is a plastics one that would be a good opportunity to, they
Mm,
have statistics of plastics pollution, but to mention that point that it's different in different areas is really important as well.
wow, that's great. Bjorn was showing us another thing that we hadn't seen before. This is a brand new aspect of the How the Ocean Works module that he's created with that first amount of funding from Dan K. Thorne Foundation, which is astounding. The funding from Daniel K. Thorne Foundation has been a fantastic complement to the gift of this digital content and scientific research that our collaborators at Maribus in Hamburg, Germany have shared with us. Might you consider taking us to the main screen that shows all the elements? We could maybe, give an overview of what we envision those elements doing.
So the idea here was to just sort of highlight the different styles of exhibits that you would encounter within the How the Ocean Works exhibit hall. So here we have the Earth Ocean Analyzer. This is a 3D model of the Earth's globe, which has a series of map layers. So we can not only just manipulate the globe, but also add, if you want to learn about ocean oxygen, and this is data coming from the World Ocean Review, Volume 7. We can play with some of the variables.
That's incredible. And this is just, are these the three that are in the volume, or are there many more?
There's many more. So this is just a starting point where, this library can be expanded. We can categorize them, by chapter or by, maybe specific geographic regions. But so, yeah, we've built this, again, the user interface framework that then can be applied to any number of geospatial variables that we want to put on the globe.
First of all, I love this central tool for visualization. I love the idea that you could have more than three, so that on the right-hand side, you could see that here are 10 demonstrations of how the ocean works.
Mm.
Looking at it through oxygen, methane, groundwater, whatever the others are. And then the other thing that I like, look at the birds.
I know, it's so great. In the coral, there's so much motion.
Look at birds.
And look there's an orca swimming by in the lower left there.
Oh yeah, the orca.
Yeah.
How
I think
long
you
did
might have dived down.
He might have.
Oh, you do.
But there is a lower level to this How the Ocean Works module, right? Much like the hub, will there be
Yeah, it's a
underwater
similar
aspect?
structure, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. My last point on this, our general focus for Explorer is 7 through 10. This transcends 7 through 10. It doesn't exclude 7 through 10. It includes 7 through 10.
You're absolutely right. Yeah.
This takes us 10 to 12, and it takes us far beyond that as well.
I had the same thought. I was thinking that of all the modules, this one seems to me the most sophisticated.
Right. And also, this is going to be the first module you see. You go to How the Ocean Works, and then you go to deep sea, then you go to coral reef, then you go to polar regions as subsets of the larger demonstration of specific workings. So I love this big time.
Yeah, yeah.
Then we'll have interactive 3D models where a user can see how a wind turbine works and operates. Also, if you're looking at marine transport vessels, kind of ships, cargoes, pollution that's associated with that. Again, there'll be videos and photo displays to create not just informational value, but aesthetic value throughout the exhibit.
it's a point to be made there that the ocean works not just geophysically, but also socially.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
One way that the ocean works is trade and exchange of goods, people, and ideas.
Can you describe what's happening in that many-sided ocean graphic there?
This was just an example of the type of graphics that were within the report that you might not be able to see completely. These type of graphics will lend itself to 3D models that then can be manipulated and have interactive features throughout the actual data that's presented within it.
Okay, so much like deep sea, if a user came and approached this, clicked on it, it would open a manipulatable model of that thing, and they could spin it around, look at all
Yeah,
sides of it.
along with the, appropriate text or audio information to give context to it.
Yeah, great. Right, the audio, that's going to be a big part of it. Another important thing to mention here, as Bjorn did at the very top, is that the way that he's created this module to date, everything is in really close so that we could get a good screenshot of it. In essence, this will be, as spread out as deep sea is.
There'll be plenty of space to explore and,
Yeah.
and a lot more exhibit spaces to engage with.
Okay, I just want to make the point. One of the ways the ocean works is it facilitates migration and it also distributes cultural and social humanities. And we say, look, the key element here is how the ocean works, and bang, here it is. And then you want to go into more detail, you go into the deep sea, or you go to the.
That's right.
That's right.
As you can see, we've used the $10,000 that we received from the Daniel K. Thorne Foundation in fall to spectacular effect. We're blown away with the work that you've been able to do on this in this short amount of time, Bjorn. And I know that our collaborators at Maribus are just as excited. Jan Lemonster is pretty tickled by what he's seen you accomplish.
Yeah, we had a very pleasant conversation. I think he was very excited to. I mean, he spent so much time with those facts and figures to see them brought to life. Really, it was nice to see his expression for sure.
Yeah, Jan is the editor of the World Ocean Review magazine. And after we showed him the demonstration, he said, "This has been my dream." So I think what's going to happen here with this collaboration of the World Ocean Review magazine and the How the Ocean Works module and the World Ocean Explorer platform as a whole is going to bridge this gap between the scientists with the greater global community of educators and students who are going to benefit, who are already benefiting from the World Ocean Explorer Deep Sea module. Teachers are going to absolutely love this How the Ocean Works module. I'm absolutely convinced of it.
Yeah.
You were saying, Bjorn, that the $10,000 that we received has allowed us to get this far on this module.
Yeah, I've been able to, construct the proper scripts to work with these 3D models, make them interactive, update the user interface. So that's been huge. Once you've built it, now you can apply them to other models. So it's been extremely helpful in terms of getting this project to life.
As Peter was saying, there are these links that can be made to other modules to create this sort of further knitting together, this integration of the modules to one another, allowing us to create a cultural display, which,
Yeah.
as Peter said, is yet another way of how the ocean works.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the potential here is vast, and we thank you so much for your support. Thank you
Yes,
for
thank you.
consideration. If you want to interact with the module, here's the WebGL link.